So what I think's going on, CPU seems to be okay. I went back to his old motherboard and I got it going. So I think his used, eBay purchased or wherever, replacement motherboard is actually part of our problem. So let's see if I can get this thing to go on the air and save a little bit of my face here. Okay, so tip I did not recommend, didn't acknowledge or say. These vents, probably want them over the RAM so you can keep a good amount of volume of air coming through here. And again, you want to push because that's more efficient. If we were to have this tilted this way, then your video card's going to create a dam of air, and then it just becomes a bunch of vortexes that aren't really doing much for you. So we're going to, oh, that was turned in backwards, and now I got to figure out what we're doing with the CPU fan 1 and 2. Okay, so this particular motherboard has a not an water pump input, but it has two CPU fan inputs. So let's be careful and not cut ourselves again. Good. CPU fan. We're going to use number 1. We only have one fan on this particular piece of hardware. Okay, so let's see if on the air, live, I can get this thing to go. Plug in the motherboard power. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, now we're going to plug in the video card. Again, we're still using the replacement video card since that thing went clank, 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 and ultimately the reason the whole machine is here. So let's plug in the CPU PCIe video card power. Oh, it's CPU, sorry. Down here on the motherboard. You can't quite see what I'm up to, can you? There we go. Oh, let's turn the video. Oh, actually, lighting is actually not that bad, even though the primary light is off. Good, 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 good. Okay, so again, we're using my power supply because I want to see this thing function. Okay. The video card is now plugged in. Oh, there we have even more light. Okay. Everything's plugged in except I need to put the HDMI in. Good, that's plugged in. Oh, yes, and now his, since we know that this is going to boot, since I tested it off camera, I gotta go find me a SATA cable. Here it is right here. Nice long one. Okay, so we are going to move the camera to the screen and let's see if we have results. All right. SATA ports, where are they on this thing? Where are the darn SATA ports? Alrighty. SATA ports are, oh, they're under the video card. That's why I'm having trouble finding them. There. So now we're going to plug in the power for this SATA cable. Let's get some old Molex cable here. No, we're not doing that. Okay, SSD is now plugged in. Good. So, drum roll. Let's move this camera up. Let's see if we can get a result. Oh, I guess I gotta turn the power on, right? Yeah. There we go. Oh. Hold on, what am I missing here? Hey, there we go. Now we got power. Turn on. Go. Good, CPU good. Good, good, good. We got a display. No, we don't yet. Hold on. We got RAM that's lit up. Alright, so again, we don't know what the status is of this used video card he has here. Well, gee golly. This is a replacement video card, by the way. So at least at this point we got some power with some RAM. CPU fan is spinning. Oh, you know what I did? Hold on. Let's try this. Let's try this. Let's see here. That could be that problem. There we go. Let's try this. I got these two power supplies plugged in together. I think I plugged the video card in from the wrong unused power. That would be a good problem to have, because now that's a reason to be excited over. Okay, power back on. All right, let's hotwire this thing again. There. Okay, now display. Drum roll. Sometimes these machines take 10 or 20 seconds to recognize what's up. Come on. No display yet. Video. No display. Hold on. Nothing yet. Let's be patient. Nothing yet. Be patient. No display. Okay, we still do not have a display, but we do have constant power this time. So we don't know what the status is of this video card, although it is the replacement for the one that went clank, 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 clank. Let me plug in one of my video cards at this point. Very entry level, but of course all we're doing is using it for troubleshooting. This is, what is this thing? It's an MSI something. Cheapo little barely usable VGA, HDMI, and DVI. There we go. DVI, HDMI, and VGA for troubleshooting purposes. So what we're going to do... Oh, wait, hold on. Fan speed has changed, but no, still no display. Okie dokie. So we're going to wonder about this video card now, since we don't know what its status is. We're going to eliminate it, because being minimalist is what makes this sort of troubleshooting easier. All right, let's eliminate that. Let's pull the HDMI. Oh, you know what? Okay, you know what, I think I want to try to reseat that before I give up on it. But let's just see if we can get a display out of this little menial, podunk little, barely usable, entry-level $39.95 Earlshark special video card here. Alright, there we go. Plug in my power supply still. Alright. Power is in the on position. Okay, so now we're using my video card. Okay, we got power. Do we have a display? You know, I ought to make sure. I'm pretty confident that my ports for the video are good. Well, let's just make sure, huh? Let's make sure. Okay, yeah, again, still no video. So, we got a motherboard that powers up, but we might be dealing with a bad CPU. Let's see here. Yeah, CPU, motherboard, HDMI 4. We got the right source. I'm thinking we're dealing with a bad CPU at this point. We tried the replacement motherboard and couldn't get anything. Let me see about... Man, all right. Bad CPU is what I'm thinking. I didn't want to say the CPU was bad because we were dealing with physical damage, but being installed underneath cooling hardware, this was not the original cooling hardware, by the way. It had water cooling. I did not expect the CPU to be part of the problem. So, I've let it sit here for about 3 or 4 minutes, and it's still a no-go. I'm using my known, very entry-level video card. Basically, the only thing it's good for is adding monitor support. Let me see here. Yeah, we're getting no display. At this point, I think the CPU is bad. Yeah. So I tried his original CPU, which is essentially the only OEM part that we're dealing with, in a new replacement motherboard, because these are the issues I was having with the original hardware. So that's why I wanted to diagnose the motherboard. Unfortunately, I think at this point I'm going to end up telling the customer his CPU is probably bad. I don't have one offhand. An i7 K-Series LGA 1151 do try. But unfortunately, I think that's what we're dealing with. So I'm going to end up having to contact the customer and decide where he wants to proceed. Quite frankly, this is why dealing with used hardware is the most difficult. Let's see here. Is there anything else we can try without having a CPU to swap out? I don't have an 1151 CPU. What does one of those go for online here? Let's check Amazon, huh? $11.51 CPU. Let me just see what CPUs come in that form factor. Okay, so he can get a 6700 for $160 basically. If he just wants to go, originally $300. Wait a minute, is this new? I don't want to deal with any more used hardware. Intel boxed core i7 6700 FC-LGA 14C 3.4 gigahertz. Alright, so if we just wanted something, we could. This product is fully refurbished, fully functional, and in excellent condition, backed by a 90-day warranty. Okay, well, All right, let me call the customer. He sent me an email today with an update. Let's find his phone number. Where is it? Where is his phone number? I'm digging through all our back and forth emails. There we go. Okay, so I have his number. Copy. Oh, I want to do, what is this thing here? Hack. Okay. Paste. All right, let's see here. Ross?
Ross.
Hey, Ross, this is Chris, your computer guy.
Chris, what's going on?
All right, well, this has been kind of a hassle. Unfortunately, I think your CPU is probably what's the culprit. I actually got your original motherboard to boot up, but no display, and I swapped out with my own video card. That video card, that replacement video card, was that used?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't even know the history of that really. The replacement motherboard you brought, was that also used?
It was all I could find, but I thought it was new, actually.
Okay, the original motherboard I can't even get to fire up. I actually decided, well, let's try this one more time. Put your original CPU in your original motherboard. Got it to at least turn on, but with my own video card and my own power supply, and it turns on, but with no video. So at this point, it's looking like the CPU is damaged, which is not something I would have guessed because it's so well protected in an installed state because it's got all that hardware for cooling on top of it.
Right. Okay, I give up.
Yeah, and I don't want to rack up a big bill and not give you a good result. I looked online. You could probably get an entry-level i7 for about $160 on Amazon if you want to put that much more into it.
So you think if I go grab the CPU, we get a working computer out of this?
Yeah.
Because I need a second computer, that's the problem.
Right.
I really need the second.
Yeah, and the biggest part of this whole issue is that we're dealing with a bunch of used parts, which does not make my job any easier.
Of course, and I recognize that.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do I do this, or do I just swap the whole thing and go buy and build the machine, or have you built one? What do you...
I build them all the time. I just don't know exactly how you want to use it because ultimately if you're gaming, you go ahead and spend as much money as you're willing to throw at it. But if you just need something to give you some all-around performance, you obviously don't need to spend that much money. You could get an entry-level built-up machine for less than $1,000 easily and get a lot more performance than what we have here. This is several generations old. So essentially, I tell people to expect 5 or 6 years out of their hardware, and then just budget every 5 or 6 years to replace everything.
Then I'm done with this stupid thing.
Yeah, and I don't want you getting frustrated, or if it continues to be an ongoing thing. Like I have a collection of some vintage vehicles. I had a mechanic say, I really just don't want to deal with it because the guy that writes a bunch that's barely holding compression.
I don't know if you recall, but it was actually supposed to be for a helicopter simulator.
Oh, yeah. Now I remember, yes. Yeah, so you really do want the most powerful machine you're willing to throw money at.
Yeah, probably so, Chris.
Yeah.
Probably so. Is there a pre-built I should buy, or, I mean, what, is it 6-1 have to have another? What do you think for just getting myself?
I think if you go to hardwareleaderboard.com, I'm sorry, not PCPer.com, and go to their hardware leaderboard,
Yeah.
they've already got a collection of tried and true hardware, and you can mix and match different parts, but they've got a small, medium, and large offering for you, and we could build you a computer. Frankly, I've been trying to get people on these $800 or $900 Dells for machines that at least get them online, and it's looking like the the argument for building a computer has come back, whether you want an entry-level machine or a gaming rig. Generally, all the gaming hardware you buy online is going to have either a 3 or a 5-year warranty, in which case, if you buy an off-the-shelf machine, even if it's a gaming rig, it's not going to come with a 5-year warranty.
Yeah, that's true.
So each part that you buy to build a computer is going to have a separate 5-year warranty.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, and you're going to get all... Go ahead.
Sorry, PC...
PCPer.com.
Speakers?
PCPer as in perspective.
Okay.
And then check out their hardware leaderboard.
And then look at the leaderboard.
Yeah, and obviously your case is still good, so we don't need that.
Okay.
That's $200 you don't need to spend. And then ultimately, since we don't know what the status is of your video card, I haven't tried it in another machine, but my video card, which I know works because that's part of my test bench hardware, does not light up on this original motherboard, and the motherboard that you brought me doesn't even light up at all.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, so that's why dealing with used hardware is just so frustrating. And then also we're dealing with physical damage, so we don't know what damage would happen with that video card going clank, 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 clank. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, I think you'll be happiest by spending $700 or $800 on replacement hardware. Yeah, that's right. Your power supply is probably fine. So, yeah, I've been using my power supply just to also get this thing up and running. And yeah, so your power supply and your case are probably the two parts you won't need.
Okay. Well then, do I need any particular format of motherboard to fit in that case? Or
No, that's why I like that case. It's a full factor. It's a full ATX case. ATX is the big format, and in fact, it'll take the smaller formats also. But ATX is full ATX, which will take it all.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I will do that. I will buy some parts this evening. Get
Cool.
on it. And can I send you some money right now just to keep Chris happy?
Well, I don't need. I actually prefer to get paid on a final result, and I don't think you're. I mean, but I appreciate the offer. Yeah, I like to get paid for a final product, but yeah, I don't need to be retained like a lawyer to keep going. I'd rather just get paid my couple $100 at the end when you're happy.
Yep.
So
Understood. Thank you. I appreciate it.
yeah. So go to Hardware Leaderboard tab on PCPer.com, and then that's pretty much, they're going to sell you the best hardware that they've already tried and true to on their workbench, and we can go from there. And then unfortunately, CPU is likely going to get your original motherboard up and running, but it's frustrating because I got it halfway going, which tells me the CPU is likely the problem. I had a extra CPU laying around, but unfortunately I don't have a collection of all the formats. I might just bite the bullet for myself and get that $160 CPU just because it's probably worth having as a test bench part.
Understood.
So,
All right, man. I'm on it. Thank you. I'll go get those parts this evening, or order those parts this evening, and I'll see you when they're all in.
all right, thanks.
Thanks so much.
No problem. You've been very patient too. I appreciate that.
My pleasure, man. I know good work when I see it.
Thank you. All right. Bye.
Thanks, Chris.
Uh-huh.
Bye-bye.
So there we are. If you've never been here before, occasionally, if it makes sense to film the work. Today, I've been dealing with a machine that was not shipped properly. The video card came loose while in transit. I got his original motherboard and his original CPU to light up, but no go with the video card. This is my personal video card that's plugged in the machine. Here we go. This is what I'm speaking of. I got my own air-cooled cooling because he had a mess of a water cooling setup. He, in fact, also had his original card water-cooled, so that didn't do much for the lateral weight on his video card, which pulled it out of the motherboard slot. But there we go. PCIe slot, sorry. Some of you are going to make fun of me for calling it a video card slot. Anyway, I'm going to take off for the rest of the day. I'm going to go calm down for the rest of the day. This computer's got me wired. I've been on this for 3 or 4 solid hours, screwing around just because I don't like to walk away from a machine I can't get going. If you've never been here before, give me a call at 855-434-8787 if you want to say hi in the YouTube chat. I do invite you to say hi there. If I don't respond, doesn't mean I'm not reading what you say. Alrighty, let's see. I want to put my CPU back in place. My spare. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. All right, so yeah, I got one. I don't know what socket this Intel chip is, but it's not 1151. And then I got a Ryzen, which I use as a test bench. And these CPUs are right here. This is how I keep them protected and know that they're good for test bench use. There we go. All right, so we are going to take off for the rest of the day. Show up and give me company. Comment if you want some free advice. Go ahead. I've seen recently I've had some activity there. If you want some free input, that is the point. Give me a chat.